This is New Delhi's main Commonwealth Games stadium. And this is the police security gate. While they're distracted by their own cars, I breeze in with an oversized suitcase. There are dozens of police, but nobody asks me what it's for, and this is no ordinary piece of luggage.
Hello, I'm Paul Barry. Welcome to Media Watch. Channel 7's explosive investigation into Commonwealth Games security, broadcast last Monday, sent shockwaves around the world.
Security fears at Commonwealth Games as journalist carries 200 bombs into the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium.
Tonight, we're going to spend the entire programme examining that Channel 7 report because we believe it's a shocking beat-up. But first, let's see if we can figure out what reporter Mike Duffy claims to have done.
And this is no ordinary piece of luggage. So you could flatten an entire building with that?
Absolutely.
It's a portable, purpose-built casing for a remote detonation kit. The unit is capable of setting off 200 explosions.
So, what do you think of it so far? What exactly do you think Duffy is claiming? Do you need to see more?
We were offered the device out of a car boot in a car park north of Delhi.
It was ready to shoot or turn off.
We paid up and took the case.
It looks to me like Mike Duffy's buying a remote detonating kit from a backstreet arms dealer, and it's obviously lethal.
If I need to blow up this car, all I need further is a detonator and an explosive.
So we sourced those too. In India's mining areas, the black market for explosives is rife. We even get a demonstration. Jeez.
Now, I'd say this brave reporter has bought the ingredients for a bomb and got them through game security. And the world's media certainly reached that conclusion, with the story getting bigger and bigger as it went.
Duffy was able to gain entry into the stadium premises with a suitcase allegedly containing crude explosives.
The Daily Mail's report was sourced from Britain's biggest news agency, the UK Press Association. So it's no surprise it ran almost verbatim in dozens of other papers, including The Guardian.
Explosives taken into Commonwealth Games Stadium.
Halfway across the world, the Gulf Times and a host of Asian newspapers were relying on AFP's version of the story.
TV crew slips into venue with explosive suitcase.
But what else could you believe after watching claims like this?
And this is no ordinary piece of luggage. So you could flatten an entire building with that?
Absolutely.
New Zealand's TV3 was even more impressed with Duffy's daring-do.
Now, Channel 7 Australia reporters bought a bomb, tested it and taken it right into the Games Village. No questions asked. I asked Mike Duffy how he did it.
Mike Duffy made no attempt to hose down the wilder stories in interviews. But he hit trouble when Sydney Radio 2UE's Sandy Aloisi asked him this.
Well, the thing that struck me is that eventually you showed through your report that you had a remote detonation device inside this bag.
Followed by this pointed question about the risks he had taken.
But what would have happened, Mike, if they'd stopped you at the checkpoint? You've got this detonation thing in your suitcase.
I didn't have I had some of the equipment in there, some not. I certainly didn't have enough that I could have been. I didn't have a complete kit, is what I'm saying.
Not the complete kit? We believe that case may have been empty, and we'll tell you why in a moment. But if you listen hard, Duffy doesn't actually say the detonator kit's inside.
It's a portable, purpose-built casing.
Come again?
It's a portable, purpose-built casing for a remote detonation kit.
Clever, isn't it? It's just a case. The other key element of the story is that Duffy took what the world thought was a bomb through Commonwealth Games security. So let's have another look at that.
This is New Delhi's main Commonwealth Games stadium. And this is the police security gate. While they're distracted by their own cars, I breeze in with an oversized suitcase. There are dozens of police, but nobody asks me what it's for.
Now, according to Delhi police, this was not the pedestrian checkpoint.
This sting operation is totally bogus and incorrect. The reporter is trying to create false impression of security breach by walking from barricades placed on the main road only to divert vehicles. That place is far off from the main entry gate of Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, from where the actual manual checking of pedestrians is done.
They would say that, of course. But their account is backed by local CNN reporter Parikshit Luthra, who told MediaWatch,
If Mike Duffy had tried to pass through the main gate security checkpoint, he would never have been allowed through. The barricade Mike Duffy passed through is there to restrict traffic. That is all. Anyone can walk through there. You could, I could.
Luthra also offered this significant fact.
The area is not on lockdown yet.
In other words, when the filming was done, full game security was not yet in operation. Now, maybe it should have been, but that's another question. Challenged to answer these criticisms, Duffy told Indian CNN,
It's almost laughable, to be honest, that they're calling the investigation bogus. You can see all of the evidence in the story.
well, laughable is how I'd describe Duffy's report, except that it's far more serious, because so many people around the world believed he was fair dinkum. And this is just the beginning of the sleight of hand.
We were offered the device out of a car boot in a car park north of Delhi.
It was say ready to shoot, shoot or turn off.
We paid up and took the case.
Now, who is this dodgy arms dealer? And why did he let himself be filmed? More to the point, why is he then secretly filmed taking the money? It's all very puzzling. So we tracked the mystery man down, and he's an Indian businessman from Chandigarh, whose company supplies the Indian police and army. We're going to call him Mr. P, because he says he has already suffered enough.
Mr. Mark has cut-pasted his videos to make a gossip fraud story. His story has put us into deep trouble and put at stake the future of our company and the livelihood of more than 30 people.
Mr. P has told MediaWatch he's prepared to supply his mobile phone records and take a lie detector test. And he's already given us a lengthy statement and paper trail of his dealings with the man he knew as Mr. Mark, or Mark Darcy, but we all know as Mike Duffy.
So you could flatten an entire building with that?
Absolutely.
Darcy stroke Duffy first contacted Mr. P around 3 weeks before Channel 7's investigation was broadcast, wanting to buy a remote explosive detonating kit used in mining, and claiming to represent an Australian company called Ashburton Mining. That, of course, was a lie.
Subject: Remote Explosive Detonating Kit.
Dear Mr. Mark, thank you for your kind call and inquiry.
Some 2 weeks later, Darcy stroke Duffy arrived in Delhi and was shown a non-operational dummy kit in his hotel room, but demanded to see the real thing. When told it could not be brought to Delhi because security was too high, he agreed to meet Mr. P at a restaurant halfway between Delhi and Chandigarh. And it was in the restaurant car park that Mr. P was persuaded by Mike Duffy to demonstrate his device on film, so Duffy could show it to his supposed Australian mining customers.
He said, "Picture is worth 1,000 words. Movie is worth 1,000,000 words."
And what a demo it was.
If I need to blow up this car, all I need further is a detonator and an explosive.
With this explosive footage in the can, Duffy and Mr. P went into the restaurant for coffee, where, according to Mr. P,
Mr. Mark requested me to just give the empty suitcase, as he has done some shopping of glass and decorative wares in Delhi, and he can take them back to Sydney in the suitcase, and since it has foam lining, his shopping will reach safely.
Channel 7 then secretly filmed Mr. P accepting 15,000 rupees, about $350.
We paid up and took the case.
Now, it looks like Channel 7 is buying the explosive detonator kit, and secret filming makes the transaction look covert and illegal. But according to Mr. P, Duffy is buying an empty case containing nothing but foam. We put this to Channel 7, who replied,
As it was an undercover investigation, we do not propose to make any further comment on these questions. However, we stand 100% by the story.
We then suggested Duffy could not have had the detonator kit when he took the case through the barricades.
The detonator kit was in Mike's possession for 24 hours, during which time he filmed his report.
Mr. P's response to that was,
This is totally false. Why would I lend him a very expensive piece of equipment?
Indeed, why would he? Channel 7 then provided a picture of Mike Duffy with the kit. Mr. P is adamant it's just the dummy unit brought to Duffy's hotel room the day before the car park meeting and returned when he bought the case. Channel 7 adamantly deny this. But whatever was in the case, one thing is certain. There is no way it could have gone bang. As Mr. P told Duffy in an email before they met,
Equipment needs electronic detonator to operate, which is restricted access. We don't have it, and only government agencies have it.
Even with that detonator, it could not blow up the ammonium nitrate fertiliser that Duffy bought, unless that's mixed with fuel oil or explosive gel. And finally, even if Duffy did have a bomb in the case and got it into the stadium, he would still need to lay this bright orange cable to where the bomb was hidden, because this detonator kit is not a wireless device. I think even Indian security would have seen that. And I believe this makes the entire stunt ridiculous and dishonest. And the same applies to Duffy's acting, or whatever you'd call this.
We even get a demonstration. Jeez.
Notice how Duffy reels from the blast, while the others do not. And notice how he then reels again.
Jeez. That was actually quite frightening. You could actually feel the blast from here.
By the time that second clip is filmed, everyone has had time to change position. But Duffy is still pretending to reel or recover. Now, Channel 7 say the real point of this story was that Duffy was able to buy the detonator kit without a licence and without showing ID. But according to Mr P, Duffy didn't actually buy anything except the case. And Mr P goes on to claim
The kit would have been delivered to him at the airport upon his departure from India. The kit would have to be cleared with all the paperwork at customs.
He also says,
I have widely travelled in world, including Australia, but never expected such manipulation of things.
Finally, Mr P says he is prepared to come to Australia to give evidence in court.
We are already discussing the matter with our lawyers and Indian government to take necessary action against Mr Mark.
If that happens, we look forward to examining that case in detail too. Meanwhile, if you want to read more on this explosive investigation, you can go to our website. But for now, that's all from me. Until next week, good night.